What's going on, guys? Kevin and Joe here.
What's up?
Today we're going to talk a little bit about questions that you can ask suppliers before starting to drop ship for them. We came up with a bunch of different questions we think are really helpful, and we're just going to go off a list. We're going to look at the questions that we wrote down just because there's a bunch of them. Drop down in the comments if you have any other questions that you've asked or you think that would be helpful for any other members in the group. So the first one, Kevin's going to start off.
Also, I highly suggest you guys write this down and basically create a template just so that you can send it to the different people you're thinking about dropshipping from. It can be very important, and this is stuff that you should know. So the first question is, what are your processing/shipping times? That's, in my opinion, that's the most important question. Just because if they have long shipping, doesn't matter how good the quality is or whatever, your customers are just going to be angry if they have to wait 2-3 weeks to ship. I mean, I always like to put myself in the customer's shoes, and if I had to wait more than a week to receive an item, I mean, even a week is a long time these days, especially with Amazon having 2 to 3 day shipping. That's what everyone's used to, You want to make sure that they can ship within 2-3 days. I mean, another follow-up question to that would be, do you fulfill your own items or do you use a fulfillment company? That's extremely important because you want to make sure these orders go out on time. You don't want to place an order and then hear back 3 days later, oh, we're still processing the order. How long is the processing going to take? And when are you actually going to ship the item? And how am I going to know? Are you going to send me a tracking number? What methods do you guys ship with? Do you guys offer priority? Do you guys offer 2-day shipping, or is it just one shipping for everybody? So the first question, I'm going to repeat it, is what are your processing/shipping times? And also what goes along with it, do you fulfill your own items?
Cool. So the second one is how often do you restock your items? This is super, super important. You want to make sure that, if you're putting in money for Facebook advertising, you're spending money on your business, and you're creating hype around this product, that one day your supplier just doesn't say, oh, we're out of stock and we're not making this anymore. So definitely get information about how often they restock and if they do restock.
All right, so before I go on to the next question, that's a huge point. You should ask them, what items are you going to bring back? Are there items that are on your website that you're currently selling that you're not going to bring back? This is the last season for it and it's going to be over. For example, clothing. Everything has a 4-month shelf life. It works with seasons. So, for example, you won't sell a tank top in the winter because it just doesn't sell, And some colors sell better in the summertime than they do in the winter. For example, fuchsia, lavender. These colors are really hot in the summer, but then when it comes to wintertime, no one buys those colors. I know from experience. So you want to ask them these types of questions. It's so important because you don't want to always have something on your website that might not be there tomorrow. So that's super important. Question number 3, how can I get samples of the items? You have to understand that dropshipping is a business. This isn't a get-rich-easy scheme. All the people that try and make it like that, they are honestly screwing you. They're really bullshitting you. They want you to buy their program. Everyone wants to get rich easily. They don't want to work. But you have
They're
to
the
look
ones
at this.
getting rich easily by selling you their courses too.
I agree. You have to look at this as your business. This is your life. You're actually going to work harder than you do at that 9-to-5 job. And you have to make sure the items that your customers are receiving are top-notch quality items that you would want to receive. That is so important. Get samples before you sign up for a membership or buy wholesale. I mean, buying wholesale is expensive. Before you do that, ask them for a coupon code. Hey, can you offer me a discount? I want to get samples before I work with you. 90% chance they're going to say yes. I mean, why would they say no? You have that right as a store owner to try the things before you sell them. And I highly, highly suggest you do that. And ask them for a discount code. Sometimes they'll give you 20% off, maybe 30% off, depending on their prices. And I think that's a great, great way to start your business is by buying samples.
Definitely. So number 4 would be, it's a pretty obvious question, but some people don't really ask it, and it would be, are you the manufacturer? There's a lot of companies that just warehouse products, and they don't really know at sometimes what they're actually getting. They have a stock of items, and they just ship it out. But if you're a manufacturer, you know the quality, you have control over the quality, and you want to know if they outsource any part, if they are a manufacturer, if they outsource any part of the production process. Because if they do, they don't have control over that. So that's super, super important. And then also just ask if you can visit their factory. I would say, 90% of the time you're not going to actually go visit the factory, but, it's good to have that option if, you're growing your business and you want to see where everything is made. It's just a very good option to have.
I agree. And just because you're not going to visit it, these days you don't even have to visit the factory. We have FaceTime, we have videos, that they can videotape themselves in the factory, show you kind of the process, the cleanliness, how the operation works, and I think that is so important as a factory owner myself. I highly suggest you do that. I mean, I always want to meet the people that sell my stuff just because it's a great relationship to have, and it's just good for you to know the end person so you can give them as much information as they can so that they have the easiest time selling your items. So the next question is, which is super important, you should always ask this, do you offer private label services? If someone is manufacturing the item, they have to offer private label services. It wouldn't make sense if they didn't. It's also very good for you. It's nice to try selling their products, and seeing if it works. If it starts working, to create your own brand around the items where, like, for example, if you're selling a t-shirt and you have your own brand on it, you are now creating a brand for yourself that you could potentially sell to your own wholesalers. You know what I mean? And that is key. I think that is when the real money is made, because then people are like, oh, I want simplicity. Like, I love their soft t-shirt or what have you. And that way you're not selling another person's brand, and it's a way for you to grow your business. So I think that's super important. Ask them what their minimums are so that you have a goal to hit. Like, for example, our minimums are 200 pieces per style, because that's just how you cut. We couldn't cut smaller because the cutting machine won't even cut through something that small, and it's just not worth the time of the factory, especially at the volumes that we're doing. But everyone has their own minimums, and that is such an important question to have. And make sure you write these down and you have them, because these are super good goals to hit, just for yourself too. If you're not selling 200 pieces, I mean, do you really have a business? Can you really quit your 9-to-5 job and go into this full time? Having a store is a full-time job, and I think that is a vitally important question. I'm going to keep stressing that.
For sure. Just for time's sake, I'm going to combine the last two questions that I have. One of them is, what's your return rate? You don't want to be partnered up with a manufacturer who has a super high return rate if obviously their products are not good quality, especially from a reseller's point of view. That's just going to fall back on you, and you're really just going to have problems down the road. So make sure you know what their return rate is, at least on average, and ask them that right off the bat. The second one would be, what's your monthly order capacity? So monthly order capacity obviously is, how much do they produce on a monthly basis? This can be extremely, extremely important as you start scaling your business, because, if you're selling tons of products and they have also other customers that they're supplying to, you may not be able to fulfill your products to your customers, and that would just ruin your business. So definitely make sure that they have an idea of what you personally do on a monthly basis starting and could be in the future, and also just kind of make sure that they have that ability to produce that amount of product for you.
The last question, how long have you been in business? This is so important. You don't want to spend time putting their items up or selling items for someone who just came into business. As a business owner, whenever someone has experience selling an item and they've been in it for a long time, they're just not going to open up today and leave tomorrow. They've been in this in the long term. This is what they do. This is their career. That is the most important thing. When someone's been in it for a year or two, they're still trying things out. They don't know if it's going to work out. So you should definitely look for people that have been in business for some time and have experience in whatever they're selling.
For sure.
I also want to tell you guys a little bit about something about wholesale and dropshipping and all that, so that I've got a lot of feedback from you guys that a lot of these Etsy sellers, they don't want to offer wholesale prices, or the minimums are too high for wholesale. So what I suggest you do, relationship is everything. If someone were to ask me, hey, I want to be a wholesaler, but I want to purchase $80 for wholesale, to me that doesn't make sense, because my average order value is $80 selling at retail. But if someone were to tell me, like, for example, a dropshipping program, it's a monthly fee, $9.99, and you get an extra 40% off, then that makes sense for me. You're paying monthly $9.99, and you're getting an additional 40% off the close, so you're getting it at wholesale prices. So a lot of times they're just not going to trust you just because they're new and they don't know you. However, if you ask them, hey, can I throw you a bone, $10 a month, or how can we build a relationship where I can get a discount on your items, especially if you know it's going to sell on your store? Because there's a lot of cool things out there that that will complement your store so well that you can sell the hell out of, and there's no reason not to take advantage of that. So try and work with them. They don't know. You have to understand they don't know you. They probably get a ton of messages, and work something out that makes sense, obviously, for you and for them as well. That sums it up. If you guys have any questions, comment below, and we will answer them. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
See you tomorrow.